Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing fine. So starting this week, I'll be returning to my OG posting, which will be once every week. The Fridays and Sundays was just a strategy for me to get to my 100 video faster. So starting this week, from this video, it's going to be one upload every week on Fridays by 4 p.m. Eastern European Standard Time. Every Friday is 4 p.m. So yeah, let's get right into the order of today. For today, I would love for us to talk about the fascinating origins of wedding dresses. For my girls and even those who are not girls, have you ever wondered why the traditional wedding attire is a white dress and how our cultures play a role in our traditional wedding attire? Let's get right into today's video. Initially, or I would say the origins of white wedding dress started in Western countries. For the longest time, brides normally wear their best outfits on their wedding day, regardless of the color, the style, the design. It doesn't matter, whatever your best dress was, that's what you get to wear as your wedding dress. For the longest time, up until 1840, when Queen Victoria was to marry Prince Albert, she decided to go for a white wedding dress. And her reasons for going for a white wedding dress was because the white signified purity, it signified elegance, and above all, she wanted to break from the tradition of the norm, which I told you, for every lady to get to wear their best dress on their wedding day. So that was how the white wedding dress came about. So after she got to wear it on her wedding day, or got to use it on her wedding day, and as of that time, it was even something that was so foreign and so unusual for a bride or for a lady to use white dress on her wedding day. But soon after her wedding, that's Queen Victoria's wedding, a lot of brides began embracing it in the Western countries. And right now, I'm sure we are aware that almost every part of this world has come to embrace white dress as the standard wedding attire, if I may. And these days, it's even funny that we tend to frown at people who deviate from the white wedding dress or the norm. When we see ladies who go for a different color or a different shade, we tend to frown or look at them as weird or different, whereas from the get-go, that's the OG way of dressing. That is, you wearing whatever it is that's your best dress on your wedding day. Now guys, with all I've said, or with everything I've mentioned, of course, wedding fashion is not a one-size-fits-all. Like I mentioned earlier on, our tradition gets to play a role on our wedding dresses or our wedding attire, and I would love for us to touch on some places to see the differences in our cultures. For example, in India, brides tend to wear richly embroidered sari or lehenga, which is red in color, and it symbolizes prosperity and luck. And these vibrant, very beautiful, stunning colors usually represent India's beautiful or bright, colorful tradition. And yeah, it is really pretty. I will see if I can add a video or a picture of what I'm talking about, but it is really beautiful. I love Indian is one tradition that I love the attire, even not just wedding, but weddings especially. It is really beautiful. You need to check out a picture or a video. It's really beautiful. Now we move to China. In China, brides wear outfit called the qipao. It is a fitted dress and it is also red in color. But this time around, it symbolizes happiness and prosperity. And sometimes these dresses are embroidered with dragons or phoenixes to represent their strength and harmony. And for this qipao, guys, you really need to check it out on YouTube. Just type it in and see how delicately they style these dresses or these outfits. Now moving to Japan. In Japan, brides wear white silk kimono known as shiromoko. And for this one, they normally wear it for the ceremony, and afterwards they often tend to change to red kimonos or bright colored kimonos for the celebration. So I don't know if you guys notice like a track or a pattern here. For China, for India, for Japan, they all have red, and it mostly signifies something, just different things. But we have a trend going on here: red. But yeah, now let's move on to a place like Nigeria. In Nigeria, the three basic languages or tribes, that is Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. These three places, even though they are all in Nigeria or citizens of Nigeria, when it comes to the tradition and the customs, they are very, very different. For the Igbo culture, for example, brides on the wedding day tend to wear george, tight blouses and gele, that's a headscarf or a beaded crown, along with coral beads. And for this george is a material that is usually adorned with gold patterns to represent or symbolize wealth, elegance. And then for the coral beads symbolizes purity, royalty, and connection to ancestors to signify or symbolize how sacred or the sacredness of marriages. And then we'll move on to the Yoruba culture. For the Yoruba culture, the brides tend to wear ashoke. Ashoke is a material as well. And for this one, it signifies wealth, prestige, and cultural heritage. And for this ashoke consists of iro, which is a wrap skirt, buba, that is a fitted blouse, and then gele, that is a headscarf that is intricately tied, and also ipele, that is a sash or like a wrap that is hung over the shoulder. And all of this together symbolizes, like I said, wealth, prestige, and cultural pride. Now we move to the northern part or the Hausa culture. For this, the brides tend to wear riga and zani. And for this riga, it's a flowing dress, long dress with a matching zani, which is like a wrapper to tie along. And sometimes for the other cultures, they tend to add hijab or scarves, that's to signify modesty, and modesty is big in the northern part. So yeah, we can see the differences in the cultures and how they affect our wedding dresses. So this is also a call to my ladies that when you go picking your wedding dress or when you're getting your mind ready for that, I would love for you to understand the meaning or the message behind a wedding dress, so as you're not restricting yourself to something that doesn't even necessarily require you to do that, because it is an interesting or fascinating thing to me that Queen Victoria started the wedding dress or started this trend unknowingly, even to bring from a tradition, and suddenly now the white wedding dress is a tradition. And when we see our friends or see strangers, people we know, trying on different outfits, colors, we tend to see them different or shifting from the norm without even understanding the history behind the white wedding dress. And when I was reading the stories, I just found it fascinating. I was like, I need to talk about the story so more ladies get to understand where the idea is coming from, and not to kill themselves with wanting a white wedding dress, do or die, without even understanding how it came about and limiting themselves unnecessarily. But yeah, modern wedding dresses these days have evolved so far from the 1840s, like I said, from Queen Victoria's time up until today. These days, designers get to incorporate lots and lots of designs, patterns, and styles, and they even tend to get inspirations from the traditional attires as well, such as the unique silhouettes and embroidery. And these days, we even have two-piece wedding dresses, we have jumpsuit wedding dresses. Personally, I have a friend who used a black wedding dress for her wedding, and it was really beautiful. Truth be told, it was really beautiful. So from today, if you see someone deviating from the white wedding dress, there was no, it's a tradition that was started by one person, because the tradition right from time is wear your best dress on your wedding day. Whatever it is that you call your best dress, use it on your wedding day, not what someone wore, or you being restricted to using white just because you want white and white is the norm. And of course, I understand that today and in today's world, that white dress signifies something like purity and all of that. But coming to the understanding that you don't have to restrict yourself to just that white wedding dress, you can also explore with your wedding dresses, because right from time, it has been like that. And it's just one person who shifted our idea to these white wedding dresses. And just as our world keeps evolving, I feel like it will take only one person to stand up and decide to use something different, like probably a celebrity that so many people love, to do something different, and then maybe that will get to be the new tradition. Who knows? But But yeah, this story is just to showcase the fascinating origin of wedding dresses, and for you to not beat yourself so much into wanting to use a white dress. You're allowed to pick any wedding dress, of course. If it's white you love, go for it. But if it's not white, go for it without thinking twice of what people will say or how you'll be looked at, because from the get-go, things were done, do it as you want. So yeah, keep that in mind. The next time you're thinking of your dream wedding dress or you go wedding shopping, do what works for you. Choose what you want, what you feel drawn to. That should be your wedding dress. So yeah, guys, before we move on, I want us to get into what I've been watching this week, because like I said, it's only going to be one episode per week. So I get to share what I've been watching, what I've been listening to as well on this episode. So let's get into what I've been listening to and watching. For this week, I've been watching Landman. It is a series, a new series, 2024, and so far there's been only 3 or 4 episodes released. 3 or 4, I'm not sure, but it is really interesting. It has to do with oil wells, oil drilling, oil. But yeah, it has to do with that. And there are 2 particular characters in that Landman, which is Tommy's wife. Tommy is the main character. His wife and his daughter, they are just fascinating characters. You should give it a watch. It is really interesting. And then the next thing I've been watching would be a movie. This Landman is a series, but for this movie to be Weekend in Taipei, it is really interesting as well. It has to do with a Chinese billionaire who was into so many atrocities like heroin and other things. And yeah, just not to give too much of the story or to give you guys spoilers, just give it a watch. It is really interesting. And for what I've been listening to this week, I have really not been listening to so much aside Morayo and Lungu Boy. I know, and I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me say this, but truthfully, this is all I've been listening to this week. But yeah, guys, like I said, I found the story of wedding dresses fascinating, or the origin fascinating. So the next time you're thinking of getting into a wedding dress or imagining your wedding dress, you should understand that there's a history and a full message behind the wedding dress. So guys, but before we go, guys, let's get into our code for this week. What's our code for this week? Girls, boys, you already have what it takes. And then my next quote would be, it may be a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. And I just want to leave you guys with these words of encouragement. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me once more on today's video. I hope you get to learn 1 or 2 from my video. And if you have any friend who is thinking of not wanting to use a white wedding dress, instead of looking at that person as different or not wanting to conform to the norm, instead, now that you know better, encourage them to go for what they want. Because at the end of the day, we need to be very comfortable and love what we wear, love how we see ourselves, be very comfortable and get to choose whatever it is we want. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't given this video a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I make a post. Share this video to your friends to keep the conversations going, and also to share the story about the fascinating origins of the white wedding dress, that it came from Queen Victoria trying to break from the norm, using it as a symbol of purity and elegance, and today it has become a tradition that started in the process of breaking from another tradition. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.